What's good, Heat Nation? Listen, it's actually been, surprisingly, a pretty exciting summer. I mean, if you would have told me 2 months ago that the only offseason moves the Heat made was like re-signing Thomas Bryant, getting Drew Smith, signing Alec Burks, I would have never believed you if you told me that I would be enjoying my summer. Well, now me personally, I'm having a nice time because my overall happiness doesn't rely on what the Miami Heat do, and neither should it for you, because that's how you're going to drive yourself crazy, especially with this Heat team. I know it's hard to dissociate at times, but you got to do it. But if you would have told the basketball fan in me 2 months ago I would be enjoying my summer, I would have never believed you. But I mean, you got a lot going on. You got the Olympics. Bam Adebayo is balling out. Joel Embiid is looking terrible, not getting flopping calls, wondering why the league hates him. You got Bam Adebayo shooting threes. That's obviously looking like best case scenario over there. But you also got the Summer League. The Heat just won the championship. It was a great time. Tons of guys on that team to get it excited about. Guys we didn't expect, like Josh Christopher and Isaiah Stevens. Some of the guys we signed, like Keyshawn Johnson. Also, the draft picks are balling out. Best case scenario, Pallel Larson looks like a guy that could play right now. Khalil Ware, Summer League, you know.
Doesn't look like y'all are subscribed yet, so hit the button for me because it really helps me out a lot.
Now, the one bit of bad news that we did get this offseason was Nikola Jovic with his, an ankle injury that we first learned about a few weeks ago, and it looked like it would keep him off of the Olympics team. Now, I wanted to talk about Nikola Jovic this video because with all this stuff going on revolving around the Summer League and the Heat's young, bright future, and we even saw Jaime Jaquez look like men versus boys in that Summer League, I feel like Nikola Jovic is people are forgetting to talk about him. But it's exciting times now because although there was that injury scare that he might miss the Olympics, and Heat fans are already freaking out, rightfully so, because we just went through hell last season with the injuries, and now we're in the off season and guys are still getting hurt. It was frustrating. But the good news is Nikola Jovic did return from injury a couple games ago and did get to play 2 friendly games for Serbia before the Olympics officially starts on June 28th. I am thrilled that he's back. Obviously, because he's healthy, of course. You don't want to wish injury on anyone. But I'm even more excited because Serbia's first game is actually versus USA. You know, their first official game in tournament play. And that is going to be just this Sunday. That's July 28th at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm very excited for that. I'm not personally an Olympics guy in general. Like, if Bam wasn't on the team, I probably wouldn't be watching. Now, I mean, I'll be tuned in if I'm free, for sure. And it will be cool seeing like LeBron's last Olympics, seeing him get to play with Curry and Durant and, you know, all those other greats on that team. But I wouldn't have necessarily made it a point to watch them. But because Bam's on the team, I'll certainly be tuned in. And because the first game is versus Jovic, I will definitely be locked in, because that's going to be exciting seeing those two guys battle each other. I mean, Serbia's got a lot of bigs. You know, obviously they got Nikola Jokic as well, that sloppy fat boy, as Markieff Morris would say. I'll never forget what he did to my boy. But anyway, Serbia does have some big men. But if you put AD on Jokic, does that mean that Bam is going to guard Jovic? Because now you're talking about something that could potentially be very, very exciting. So I'm kind of thrilled to see how that matchup comes out. I'll probably have a post game, I guess. I mean, I think I'll be busy. I think I'll be free during the game Sunday. I should be. If not, I'll watch it later and maybe discuss it later in the day. But anyways, Nikola Jovic did play those 2 friendly games for Serbia. The first game was his debut versus Japan. Only got you 14 minutes and scored 4 points, 1 board, 1 assist. Coming back from injury, so it was nice that he at least got a little bit of run. But in the next game, he played very well. Only got 11 minutes that game, but scored 10 points, 4 rebounds. And the thing that I love to see is he looks like he's pretty, you know, he's getting real close with Nikola Jokic. They were sitting together on the bench. They were finding each other during the game. Nikola Jokic was looking for him. And although I'm not the biggest fan of Nikola Jokic as a person, I suppose, I will not deny that he is one of the best basketball talents ever. I think we can already say that now with what the 2, 3 MVPs he has. Is it 3? I don't remember. I don't care what that sloppy fat boy got going on. Obviously, he got an NBA championship, a fluke one, because Jimmy Butler was still hurt. I will not forget what Josh Hart did to him too. But anyways, I'm making a ton of excuses this video. That's all besides the point. Nikola Jokic is one of the best minds in basketball. So the fact that he's becoming so close with Nikola Jovic, that can obviously only mean great things. So aside from us just getting to see Nikola Jovic in the Olympics, the fact he will get to have that experience with that team, I think will do wonders for his development. I mean, he is playing with and against some of the best players in the world, and I cannot understate how crucial that'll be for his improvement as a player. I mean, think about Nikola Jovic from year 1 to year 2. Year 1, obviously barely played with Miami, went into that Olympics last year, played very well for Serbia, or I guess not Olympics, it was the World Cup, the FIBA World Cup, and was awesome for them. I mean, all these guys seem to play much better on the international stage. We know Patty Mills is a Hall of Famer when he plays for Australia. My God, that boy is still hooping, but couldn't hit a damn shot for the Heat last year either. That's besides the point, because I do like Patty Mills, although his Heat tenure really wasn't great, I suppose. But Nikola Jovic last year with Serbia, I hope I haven't mixed up Jovic and Jokic this video. That might get really confusing for you guys. I do understand, because I have a tendency to mix up names. I've called Pelle Larsson Pelle Ware so many times just because Pelle, Kella, Khalil, who the hell knows? They got some names I got to get into my brain. I'm not used to the Heat having new players. They've run it back almost every year for damn the last 5 years. I'm not used to learning new names, I guess. Anyways, that's just a bunch of excuses again. But Nikola Jovic, the amount that he'll be learning, we were talking about from year 1 to year 2. In FIBA last year, he was awesome. I think, did Nikola Jokic miss FIBA? He might have, because I don't really remember him playing. But obviously, anyways, they ended up going to the championship and losing against Germany. So Jovic got a ton of run with that team, and we saw that development going into year 2. Now, obviously, he didn't play a ton to start year 2. He really didn't start getting burned until like halfway through the season. But once he did, he was starting. Pretty much did the whole second half of the year plus playoffs, starting at that 4 next to Bam. And he was great. So even his in-season development month by month was crazy. Went from the G League. Nikola Jovic was in the G League last year, and then he was starting playoff games. So he is truly a guy that is improving at an exponential rate. And when you're saying that about a 6'10 guy who's a sniper with a handle, ooh, that's scary. That is scary. So I'm really excited to see what Nikola Jovic does with this Serbia team, because he'll be playing with a guy that can facilitate in Nikola Jokic, which is something that I think Jovic could really use, because I go back to his first summer league where Jovic didn't really stand out. He was better in his second summer league for sure. But in his first summer league, they had no point guard for him. They had no one that could get him the ball, that could drive and kick to him, that could find him cutting back door because he's 6'10", and it'd be an easy layup if you could get it to him. They had no one that could do pick and roll with him or find him in the dunker spot, anything. So I think that really limited Jovic in his first summer league. And then you see him on the Miami Heat last year, where you're having guys like, even your best players like Jimmy and Bam that could set him up. They obviously had Terry Rozier the second half of last season, who was a pretty decent facilitator with the Heat, got like over 5 assists per game. So I think having Nikola Jovic play in Serbia with guys that can find him will help him work on his game even more. So just all around, there's so much positive that come from this. There really is. Now, I will say for Jovic's role next season, I actually would like to see him be the playmaker a little bit more. I kind of would like to see him run some point guard. Am I crazy for that? I know his assist numbers weren't crazy last year. It was only like 2 assists a night. But I think his vision is good enough to get the job done. Certainly his handle is. He can push pace. He can, find guys on a fast break. He can do all of that stuff. He's a one-man fast break. Sometimes he finishes himself. But he can also find the guys dumping off if they had some numbers on the fast break there too. But the reason I kind of would like to play him at point guard is because I want to have some size, like actual size. Now, I know last year he started next to Bam, so okay, your front court's got some size, great. But if your starting backcourt is Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier, I don't think that's going to work. And that's something that a lot of people are starting to agree on right now. It's not going to work. It's too small. So, call me crazy. Why not put Nikola Jovic at the point guard? A guy who's a great, off the ball catch and shoot 3-point shooter, but can also facilitate. So you play him next to a guy like Terry Rozier or Tyler Hero, 2 ball dominant players. Now those guys can go ahead and get their buckets, but when they do drive, they can find a guy like Nikola Jovic in the corner, or vice versa. Nikola Jovic can drive and find those guys because Terry and Tyler are both very good catch and shoot players as well. And then, call me crazy, let's see some lineups with Khalil Ware. Now that I do know is crazy, but if you could have, or at least for this season, at least maybe to start the season, maybe later in the season, we could see it. But if you had a lineup, let's say Nikola Jovic, Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, why couldn't that work? Why not? People will say, oh, the shooting, but Bam Adebayo is expanding his range. He hit 3 threes in their last Olympic game. Khalil Ware was a 43% three-point shooter in college. Now, I don't like when people call him a stretch 5. He's not. He shot 1 3 a game in college. He's far from a stretch 5. I don't even know if defenses will respect him out there, at least not at first. Khalil Ware would have to earn that right. But still, if Bam is starting to shoot threes, Jimmy's three-point percentage took a monster jump last season. We know Jovic could shoot. I think it could work. Now, you're going to need Bam to keep expanding the range, maybe take a couple threes a game just to keep the defense really honest there. But I would love to see it, man. And now you're talking about a lineup with, 6'9" Bam, 6'10" Jovic, and 7-foot Ware. Who is guarding that? Who? And Nikola Jovic was a very much improved defender last season. That's why he finally started getting some run. Because Spo was never going to play Jovic. He don't care how tall and how good his handle is. If you can't play defense, you're not playing in Spo's system. But Jovic did that last year. I don't know. I'd like to see that lineup. And even if not with Khalil Ware, at least, put Haywood Highsmith at the 4. He's got some more length, I guess. And that way, if you started a lineup of Jovic, Terry, Jimmy, Haywood, and Bam, I just think that's better than doing like a Tyler and Terry Rozier backcourt. I'm not in favor of that. I don't think you need both those guys, and I think Nikola Jovic can be the best of both worlds, on ball, off ball. I like his versatility. I do. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what he does with Serbia, and I'm looking forward to seeing even more so what he does coming into the next season. I would imagine that his very, very young age, the improvement is just going to be absolutely drastic. And we didn't even talk about his body. He put on a ton of weight last year. He looks, I guess, kind of similar now to what he did last year, but his frame was decent. I don't have too much concerns about his frame anymore, but he's literally like 20. Like, he will get bigger just because he's still a child and still growing. But anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. Let me know y'all thoughts down below on Nikola Jovic's potential to maybe run guard next season. Have you forgot about him? Are you more excited about some of these other young prospects like Keyshawn Johnson, a guy who I do think will get a ton of run at the 4? Let me know all your thoughts down below. I will be reading every single comment. Make sure to like and subscribe because all the support is greatly, greatly appreciated. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.